All right, 5th and 6th graders, this is English lesson 103. We're going to be looking at past tenses specifically, and we're going to introduce you to the three newer tenses, the perfect tenses. So just a reminder, if you remember, tense means time. We talked about three basic tenses, past, present, and future, and then today we're going to get a glimpse at perfect tenses, so three newer tenses as well. If you remember, past tense is an event that happened in the past. Last time we talked about present tenses more in depth, things that are currently happening, and then we'll eventually be looking at future tenses in depth as well, events that have not happened yet. Okay, but these are some basic rules that you'll want to follow when we make tenses past tense. All right, so usually when we turn a verb, as long as it's a regular form of verb, all we have to do is add ed to a verb to make it past tense. Again, that's just with regular tense verbs. We'll get into irregular forms and we know that those change, but for now, regular verbs, all we're looking to do is add ed to make it a past tense. Now, there are a few exceptions to that. Sometimes you come across words that already end with E, so you can't exactly just add an ED to it. It's going to have too many E's. So basically what happens with that, I should say, is if a word ends with E, we're going to drop that E and add ED. That way it's not like we've got two E's right next to each other. And then another rule, there's kind of an exception. Sometimes you'll come across single syllable, let me try that again, single syllable words. And when we have these single syllable words, we end up doubling the consonant sometimes and we add ed. So just be aware of those, not all the time, but there are certain cases where we do that and certain cases where we don't. So just be aware of that. And then of course, the ones we love, we've got words that end with Y, and so we have to take a close look at the endings. So we're looking here at number 4, if a word ends with a consonant and Y, then we change the Y to an I and we add ed. But if the word ends with a Y and there's a vowel before the Y, all we do is add ed. So you're going to have to look closely at any words that end with Y. All right, so that is the rules as far as turning regular tense verbs into past tense. And then the perfect tenses, sometimes these perfect tenses scare people, but they're really, really, really basic. What you want to look for is the helping verbs have, has, or had. If you see those with the main verb, then you know you've got a perfect tense on your hands. If you remember a few lessons ago, we were talking about past participles. That's what perfect tenses are. They're past participles. So they have the helping verbs have, has, or had with the main verb. Okay? So what you have to look at those helping verbs too, because those helping verbs determine whether they're going to be past perfect, present perfect, or future perfect. So if the helping verb is had and then you have the main verb, that's always past tense because had is past tense. So we're going to call that past perfect if you have had plus the helping verb. If you have or has, those are present perfect tense verbs. So if you see those helping verbs have or has in front of the main verb, that is present perfect. If you have shall or will, I know we don't use shall very often, but just giving you options. Shall or will obviously makes it future, but what makes it future perfect is you're going to have shall or will plus have plus the main verb. So you're going to want to take a look at all of these extras. Okay? One thing you want to be careful of is sometimes the main verb might be either have, has, or had. So since that would be the only verb in the sentence, it's not a perfect tense. We've got to have those helping verbs plus a main verb. So just a couple things for you to think about and watch out for. All right, so let's take a look at these sentences. First sentence says, Scooby-Doo is a good dog. Let's take a look actually at sentence patterns as well, just as a review. First thing to look for, of course, we're looking to see if we have any prepositional phrases. Scooby-Doo is a good dog. Okay, there aren't any in there, so we move down the list. The next thing to do is to find the verb. That's right. So the verb in this sentence is, and because I don't really have room, these sentences are pretty tight to each other. I'm not going to underline. I'm just going to start labeling sentence patterns, and then I'm going to go from there. Okay, so is a linking verb, as we were mentioning. Class, find the subject. Ready? Who or what is? And the answer? Okay, good. Scooby-Doo. All right, let's see if there's an object. Scooby-Doo is who or what? And the answer? Dog. Good. So dog is going to be my predicate noun because dog is a person, place, thing, or idea. All right, now, the other thing that I want to take a look at, and as you can see, we've got some lines here that we'll talk about diagramming a little later. But what tense is? Is that past, present, future, or is it one of these three perfect tenses? Past perfect, present perfect, or future perfect? All right, no extra helping verbs with main verbs, so we know it's a normal one. Is present tense, so we're going to label that as present tense. All right, we go to the next sentence. Christians believe the Bible. Do you see any prepositional phrases? Okay, no. Moving on. We look for the verb. The verb is believe. That's action. Okay, who or what believe? Christians believe. Let's see if there's an object. Christians believe who or what? Bible. So Bible is our direct object. Okay, so remember, action verbs are only followed by direct objects. Linking verbs could be followed by predicate nouns or predicate adjectives. All right, believe. What tense is believe? There's only one verb in there, so that eliminates any perfect tenses. It's either past, present, or future. Hopefully you guessed it correctly. This is present tense. All right, we go to the next sentence. It says, babies are usually cute. You see any prepositional phrases? Okay, no. Let's move on to the verbs. What's the verb here? Are. Are is a linking verb. Am is are on that list. Okay, class, find the subject. Who or what are? Babies. So babies is our subject. Babies are who or what? All right, the object is cute, but my question for you is this predicate noun or predicate adjective? Well, you might say cute is a thing, Mr. Robles, except let's test to see if we can move it in front of babies. Can we say the cute baby? Yes, we can. So let's test and see if it answers an adjective question. What kind of babies? Cute babies. Okay, so we know cute is a predicate adjective. Again, going back to the verb, what tense is are? Well, we only have one verb, so no helping verbs in there, no extra verbs. So we know it's either past, present, or future. And of course, these are present tense verbs. Icicles drip from the roof. Do you see any prepositional phrases? Okay, good. Hopefully you saw that one. Anything a mouse can do to a log, a mouse can go from the log. So we've got from the roof as a prepositional phrase. What's the verb? Good. Icicles is action. Who or ooh, wow, icicles is action. Okay, I'm glad I caught that. Drip is action. Who or what? Drip. If you're paying attention, I just gave you the answer. Icicles. Icicles drip. Okay, good. Again, what tense is that? That is present tense. Now, if you notice, these four verbs in a row were present. Let's turn them into past tense verbs. Okay, now this is an example. I'm going to cross out all of these verbs. This is an example of an irregular verb form because we can't say is and add ed. Hopefully you know, though, if we say Scooby-Doo is a good dog, if we want to make it past tense, we would say Scooby-Doo was a good dog. Okay, good. What about believe? All right, so Christians believe the Bible. We want to make that past tense. How would we do that? Hopefully you're saying all we have to do is add a D. Well, technically we drop that E and we add ED. Christians believed the Bible. All right, we go to the next sentence. Babies are usually cute. Again, this is an irregular form. You can't add ed here. Babies are usually cute. So we have to change the forms, and we're going to say babies were usually cute. Okay, last one here. Icicles drip from the roof. How do we make that past tense? Hopefully you caught this. This is one of those exceptions where we're going to have to double that consonant and then add ed. Alright, let's take a look at these last tenses here. It says the boats raced down the river. Do you see any prepositional phrases? Hopefully you do. Anything a mouse can do to a log. A mouse can go down a log, so down the river. Okay, good. What do you see as the verb? Good, raced. And that's action. Who or what raced? Boats raced. Okay, good. What tense is raced? Hopefully you're saying, that's past tense, Mr. Robles. It's got an ed ending. And that would be correct. Alright, we go to the next one. Tomorrow, our boat will race in the finals. Okay, so do you see any prepositional phrases in that sentence? I do. In the finals. Okay, what verb do you see here? Alright, good. Will race is an action verb. Now notice we've got two verbs this time. Will race. Who or what will race, class? Good. Boat. Okay, nothing here. It ends with a prepositional phrase, so there's our sentence pattern. Okay, what tense is will race? Hopefully you know that that is future tense. Okay, we go to the next one. Kate has given me a new book. Do you see any prepositional phrases in there? I don't either. Okay, let's move to the verb. What do you see? Hopefully you're seeing there's more than just one verb, and the verb is has given. Okay, who or what has given? We know that's an action verb. Okay, good. Kate, let's see if there's an object. Kate has given who or what? Hopefully you can see that the direct object is book, but hopefully you also see there's something else in there. Kate has given who or what? Book. To whom? To me. So there's an example of an indirect object. Alright, going back to the verb. What tense is has given? Notice it's a helping verb with a main verb, which means it's going to be one of those perfect tenses. Okay, so we're looking. The helping verb is has. Which one of these begins with has? Hopefully you can see it. It's present perfect. Okay, we go to the next one. She had read the same book before her birthday. Do you see any prepositional phrases? Good. Before her birthday. All right, what verb do you see? Hopefully you see there's more than one verb in here, and it is had read. Who or what had read? She had read. All right, let's see if there's an object. She had read who or what? Book. All right, now what tense is had read? Notice it's got a helping verb with a main verb, so it's going to be a perfect tense. Which one has had in front of it? Hopefully you can see that's past perfect. Had plus the main verb. So we've got past perfect here. Last sentence. I will have finished it by tonight. Do you see any prepositional phrases? Yes. There it is. By tonight. Anything a mouse can do to a log. It can go by the log. Alright. Do you see the verb? Hopefully you're seeing a lot of words as part of the verb. I'm going to label all three of these here. Well, I'll just underline it. That'll be easier. Will have finished. Who or what will have finished? I is the subject. See if there's an object. I will have finished who or what? It. Okay, good. Now, will have finished. Hopefully you see will makes it perfect, but we have in there also. So remember, that's a perfect tense. We've got the future tense in there, but the perfect, which makes it future perfect. Alright, so we'll label this sentence as future perfect. Okay, good. Really quickly, let's see if we can get some quick diagrams in here. Alright, so Scooby-Doo is the subject, so we're going to write Scooby-Doo do. Going to write a line to separate the subject and verb. Subject, let's use our past tenses that we change it to. Was. And the object is dog. I'm going to write it here. But hopefully you remember what the line is supposed to look like to separate a linking verb from an object. Anytime you have a linking verb, that line is always supposed to be slanted back toward the subject. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. Christians believed the Bible. Christians is our subject. Subject always comes first. Line to separate the subject and the verb all the way through. Past tense verb is believed. Okay, believed is action. Anytime we have action verbs, remember the line goes straight up to separate the action verb from the object. Okay, 3 more sentences. Babies were cute. Babies is the subject, so babies comes first. Draw a line all the way through to separate the subject from the verb. The verb was were. Were is a linking verb, which means the line that we draw to separate it from the object is going to have to be slanted back toward the subject. And of course we write the predicate adjective, which is cute. Okay, icicles drip. Ooh, nice one. There's only 2 words to diagram, the subject and the verb. So it's going to look like this. Icicles goes first because it's the subject. Draw a line to separate the two. And the verb. Okay, we've got one more and got another nice one. Boats raced. Subject and verb again. So subject first. Boats. Draw a line to separate the subject and the verb. And the verb was raced. So we write that there. No objects. Alright. Hopefully you find this video helpful for you. This is perfect tenses and a closer look at past tenses as well. And as always, remember, love the Lord with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind.